Update to a story we first brought you. Now a lawsuit has been filed by a former employee of the Atlanta Police Department. According to the filing, the department engaged in, let's just say, action unbecoming. Let me remind you of the initial story. Here it is. Ms. Rhonda Frost, you were the Assistant Deputy Director of the Public Affairs Division for the Atlanta Police Department. And your daughter, who is not only a law student, but also a very outspoken advocate, activist, broadcaster, she makes a video. Well, she makes videos because it's part of what she does. She's outspoken. She speaks up for people. She wants to be an advocate. That's why she's in law school. She makes a video about what that set things off.
She made a video about the Chaka Zulu incident that happened last summer. And the charges that APD took against him.
Okay, and Ms. Hall, let me ask you, give us the nature of your video. Why was that video so controversial according to the police?
Well, the police were under the impression that nobody else had access to the video, I'm assuming. And that when they put out their charges of murder, that it wasn't gonna be challenged until it got to court or until the DA decided to indict or not. However, I also have contacts and I didn't understand how somebody could be shot in the back and no one else be charged with anything except for Chaka Zulu, which made me start my investigation process. And then when I saw the video, I was mind-boggled. I was like blown. I was like, hold on, how is it humanly possible that someone came to, or 5 men actually came to his place of business, accosted him, stopped him on his way back into his place of business, and proceeded to jump him, stomp him into the ground. And then when he got to his feet, after being pushed in the back one more time by the person that originally punched him in the head, they said, he's the only person that charged with anything. I mean, those men not only beat him to the ground, but beat a female to the ground, punched her in the face multiple times. She had to go to the hospital and has had fractures to her face and other things that I was able to pull on a different police report. And in my mind, I thought, how could APD get it this wrong? So that's what started it all.
Yeah, APD got it very wrong. Not only was Chaka Zulu involved in a very serious matter that required self-defense, he engaged in self-defense. He was charged for murder by the APD. Everybody's scratching their heads because we rallied around Chaka Zulu when this happened. Many people know Chaka Zulu from his days with Ludacris and others. But Chaka Zulu was well respected as a businessman and an entrepreneur inside of the industry of music and beyond. So all of a sudden, these murder charges come. Now, by the way, because of her investigation, or at least partly because of her investigation, his charges were completely dropped, okay? So understand, she's right on the sentiment. So now the Atlanta Police Department, according to the narrative, because it's the daughter of someone who works for them, they retaliate against the employee because the daughter did a proper investigation and made them look bad. That is the allegation. Here it is.
So the day that Shanae's video came out, I was sitting at my desk at the Atlanta Police Department in the public affairs office, and there was a barrage of media inquiries that came in at that time, and many of them were saying, "Can you validate this link to this video, regarding Chaka Zulu?" And as soon as I clicked on it, it went straight to Shanae's Instagram page. So obviously, as the Deputy Director of Public Affairs, clicking on such a high profile thing and knowing that that's my daughter, it was a little awkward, if I could use that word, or probably highly uncomfortable. But I just knew that, once Shanae got involved, she was gonna do what Shanae does. And that's fight for justice. And so I was between a rock and a hard place. In the report, it literally said Rhonda's daughter made APD look bad. It was damaging to our reputation, to our image. It made them look incompetent. And so you can't go after me. So I thought, maybe they thought if they go after my mom, I'll stop talking. As you see, that's not how that went. My work environment changed pretty dramatically from that day forward. And then it just got really difficult come November, which is when I
filed a complaint and said it's a hostile work environment. And I asked the assistant chief for help, like, can we have a meeting because this is really getting bad in here. And the next thing you know, I'm locked out of the building and now have lost my job. So that's how dramatically things unfolded for me. And yes, in the investigative report, it looks to me very clearly that they tried to pin that on me. They did an investigation on me. I didn't know anything about it. And they couldn't find anything because I didn't do anything wrong. And my daughter has tons of sources. She doesn't need me to get information.
That's correct. She's a remarkable journalist and ally in the community. Very proud of her continued success. She's going to make an amazing attorney. So let's put up the picture full mass. Lawsuit has been filed. Rhonda Frost, the former deputy director of public affairs with the Atlanta Police Department, has finally filed a lawsuit over her termination from the department. Frost is suing Mayor Andre Dickens, Chief of Police Darin Schierbaum, and COO Peter Amon, and several other individuals from the department for lost wages, punitive damages, and emotional distress. And according to the documents provided initially in the report, they literally have conversations that obviously seem quite inappropriate. Why are we even considering talking about the daughter of an employee who has the right to do exactly what she's doing? And if you care about justice, you would champion, you would applaud an exacting investigation that gets to the bottom of something rather than be upset about it. All right, Jordan, thoughts here?
Just the idea that a parent would face professional consequences for something their child does or says, or an opinion that they have, is just lost on me. I don't care if it is this person is in law enforcement and the kid disagrees with the actions of law enforcement. That just, there should be a firewall there. It just feels very weird and retaliatory. So yeah, I go sue for all you got. I think wrongful termination is definitely like part of it, but it also feels like there's racial animus. And at a time when they're framing it as workforce reduction, you got all this money to build Cop City. You got this cop playground you're building in Atlanta. You're deforesting part of this giant park outside of the city. You got all the money for that, but one person, you gotta let go one person that just happens to have a daughter that's outspoken about one case. It just seems very targeted.
Yeah, very much so. We will bring updates as they come.